Hey guys, what's going on? This is another Outdoorsman 1 video. Today we are going to be talking about Exodrone's new Blackhawk. This drone is relatively new to the market, and Exodrones is relatively new to the market as well. And they've got some really awesome drones that are really well priced and come with a lot of loaded awesome features that honestly set it aside from some of the other drones on the market today. Alright guys, let's jump in here as we dive into the specs and everything behind the Exodrone Blackhawk. Alright guys, so you can see this box is opened. I did open it just to make sure that everything came in the box when I got it, but I'll be honest, their shipping's pretty great. I ordered it at like 1 p.m. on Friday and it showed up before I got home the next day. So granted, they're not too far away from me. They're local to Salt Lake City, so that's kind of awesome. Support local. The guys are awesome. They messaged me a lot about what's going on and they sent me this awesome drone. So let's kind of open it up here. I have not flown the drone yet, so I have only opened the box and make sure that everything was there. So let's get this cardboard box out of the way. And then here you can see it's a very nice box. Better than what I was expecting, especially for the price point. I wasn't expecting a whole lot because of the price point. They have their Ranger, they have their Cinemaster, and then they also have this Blackhawk. The Blackhawk is supposed to be the professional drone of the bunch. So their new Ranger has a lot of really awesome features and it comes in at like 250 bucks. That's a really awesome price point. So some basics behind these. This does shoot in full 4K. It has a 3-axis gimbal, and it is a folding design because it's a relatively decent sized drone, but it folds up really small. So that's nice for you weekend warriors out there like me. So like I said, it's a cool looking design, kind of similar to the Skydio, where the blades on the bottom are on a different level so that they can fold in. And like I said, super awesome box. Okay, because that means a whole lot. So let's go ahead and open her up. So the first thing you're going to see when opening it is just this carrying case, and pretty much everything is in there with the exception of some props. So it comes with like 2 full sets of props, which is really awesome because when you fly your drone into trees, so you've got actually I believe this is a full set of 4. So you've got the tool that you're going to need to adjust that and put it on there, and then also you've got more props. So there's nothing really else in the box except for at the very bottom you've got their instruction manual. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way, make sure there's nothing else in there that I haven't seen. Okay, boxes are out of the way. Now the nice thing is there's only like 2 pieces of styrofoam, which I've taken out, so there's not a lot of like really assembly that you have to do. So we're just going to open this up, and the first thing you see is the drone itself. So the drone is packed in there pretty nice. This is the drone folded up. The only thing that's on here that you're going to need to take off are the stickers and the propeller guards keeping the propellers together. You can see there is the battery installed currently. So that's one of the batteries. I did end up going for 2 batteries. These drones have like a 35-minute flight time, which is really awesome coming from my previous drone, which was the DJI Spark, having like a 12-minute flight time, maybe. So that's really awesome. The battery is a decent size, and it has its own self-retaining clip on the bottom. So it just kind of loads in there like a magazine on a gun, and it just clips in. Your power button is there on top, and we'll go ahead and set this aside for a minute while we dive into the rest. So on the inside, you're going to have this little felt line trapdoor. Everything's nice and microfiber-esque, so that's good. Then in here, you've got this little, I'm not actually sure what this is, but I don't know if they're decals or something like that. Let's see what it is. Certified pilot, kinda. Okay, and then I can fly EXO, and then another EXO Blackhawk. So these are just kind of some decals and stickers. That's nice. We all love stickers when we spend we all love stickers when we spend a lot of money on something. I did go with the 2 battery package. So here is the second battery. I have charged them already. The charging setup is actually kind of interesting and I like it. So here's the controller. First thing you'll notice about the controller is the bottom does pop out for your phone, and then that's not spring piston or spring assisted, but then the rest of it is spring assisted. So that's kind of nice. You don't have to force it all the way out. So it'll fit a decent sized phone. I have already set it up on my phone, but today we're gonna set it up on my tablet because I do intend to fly the drone from my onboard navigation tablet, which I'm not sure if that video has already come out, but when it does, I will link it at the end of this video, having onboard navigation for my off-roading adventures. So the nice thing to me is there's not really any fold out arms on the bottom that you have to do. You just fold these antennas up here and you're good to go. Your phone kind of acts as that bottom part to your controller. So that's kind of nice. Now, the one thing I will say is it does feel, I wouldn't say cheap, but it doesn't feel like something that's super expensive. So maybe that'd be a synonym of being cheap, but it doesn't seem cheap. The buttons are tactile and they're clicking, and the sport mode or advanced mode, whatever you want to call it, button is very nice and does click into position, but it just kind of seems like the controller that you'd get for one of those like $100 RC cars way back when you were a kid. So it's not cheap. It doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart. There's good spring retention on the joysticks, and there is kind of that grippy texture on the end, which I do like, but it just doesn't feel like it's something super duper expensive. Granted, coming in at the price point at where these drones are, that is totally okay with me. Going back in, this little carrying case is really nice. There's dividers on the bottom half. So you've got your wall charger, and then you also have because I ordered 2 batteries, 2 battery chargers. So the cool thing about this is it's kind of like an inline setup. So what you do is you get your cord out and you plug this into the wall, and then you're going to plug this in. It says in and out, so positive and negative. I don't know why there's a positive negative on there, but you put this guy into the in, you put this adapter into the out, and then you put this guy back into the in. So all you're going to do is you're going to take the little prong side here and put it on the battery, and it'll show you the battery status even though it's not plugged in. And we're going to reverse that process and do it again, and boom. Okay, the other cool thing about it is you can put these in series, so you can gang them together to charge all of them. You're going to have a little charging light pop up here showing you that it is charging. And then also what you'll notice is there are USB ports on the back here, which is really nice for my setup, because being in the overland community as I am, what I'm going to do probably more than not is I'm going to plug this into the inverter or my onboard battery or something like this. So this is going to get plugged in, and I've only got so many outlets, which I have already run this off of my inverter in my truck, which is a 400-watt inverter. So it's going to run on that, which is good. But also you've got these USB slots. So if you need to charge your, where is the charging port on this? Oh, it's here on the side. I believe so. Yes. Yeah. So if you do need to charge your controller, you can run a USB cord off of that and charge that way, which is super intuitive. If you need to charge your phone, you can do that off of here as well. So for my setup, this is really awesome because I don't need 8 different things plugged into the inverter in the back of my truck, which only has 1 plug. So I can multitask and run everything off of that. The only other things that are going to be included are the wire to charge your controller, and then also various wires. So here it is. This is the little wire to charge the controller. It's just the old Type-C, so it's not the oval, it's more of the trapezoid style Type-C controller, which is kind of a gripe to me. I wish that this was the newer style, being that we are in 2021 and this is a newer product. I feel like it should have been that, but we'll go ahead and set this aside. Then you do get 3 different types of plugs. So this is a Type-C on here, obviously. So all of your adapters are going to go from Type-C to Type-C. So you're going to have that Type-C going to the modern oval style Type-C. This is why I'm annoyed, because they recognize that this is going to be on there. So why didn't they just go that way? I don't know. That's probably my biggest gripe so far. Then you've got your Type-C to Type-C, the old style, and then you've got your Type-C to Lightning port for your iPhone. So I have Samsung, so that means I've got the Type-C, so I will leave that one out, and we'll go ahead and set some things aside, get this set up, get it opened up, and we'll go out and fly today. Okay, so now that the drone's open, I'd like to compare this to a drone that I already have for size comparison. Okay, so here is my DJI Spark. Obviously, it's a really small drone, and it gets tossed around in the wind quite a bit. So, comparing the size here, you do have a much larger drone. So, this is more than half the size of it. So, I do anticipate this to be thrown around in the wind a lot less, which is a really awesome thing because I overland, I off-road, I do a lot of stuff outdoors. That means that this drone needs to be able to handle the wind, especially in a canyon, which this little baby can't so much. You can see this guy is a lot larger in size from the underneath. The battery is exposed, so you are going to want to be a little bit more careful probably, because the battery is exposed here. So elements, you know, if it's raining a little bit, lithium ion doesn't like the outside elements too much. So I would assume that this is open here just to kind of ventilate the battery a little bit. So if it is kind of hot outside, that the battery isn't getting overly hot and it's not inside of this kind of tube sock getting hotter. I do kind of like the fact that there is this clip on the battery. It gives you a nice positive click when it's in position, and then even when you lift it, it is still self-retained by those plugs, which is very nice. So on the front here, you do have a protector on your 3-axis gimbal, so that is really nice. It is from what I've seen, when you turn it on, it does roll out of the protective state. So when you turn it off, it kind of rolls up into a state of being protecting of the sensor, which is nice. So when you land, the sensor is relatively far away from the ground, which is nice because I'm not always landing on level terrain. There are rubber bump stops on the bottom, which are very nice for when you do land. So if it does land on those bump stops and not on the legs, there are also rubber bump stops on all of your legs as well. So that's really nice. So let's go ahead and take these cardboard bits off. So let's go ahead and get it fired up by holding the on button here in the back. Okay, so you've got a little dancing routine that it starts up. You've got red lights on the back, blue lights on the front. You have a blue light on the power sign there. There is a pretty decent fan on there, which does direct straight down past the end of the battery. Again, I would assume that is to cool the battery amongst everything else, as well as the processor and everything in there. You can see the gimbal's already doing its thing. On the side here, you do have kind of a indicator on the back. You've got your 4 LEDs for your battery indicator, and you do have a Type-C plug there, and then this is where you put your micro SD card in. That might be another gripe of mine. I kind of wish that the micro SD had some sort of a cover on it, because you put a 128 gig card in there, you don't want that to fall out halfway through your flight. I don't assume that it will fall out, but I'm hoping that it will just kind of click into position there. So we'll see about that. It doesn't feel like it's a cheap toy. That's my biggest thing with especially new products on the market, is you're worried about it being a cheap build because it is a relatively at a cheap price point. So far I am very impressed with the Exodrone Blackhawk. Let's kind of dive into the interface a little bit and get her fired up. A couple things on my initial flight that I noticed. It is a very similar setup to the DJI. Now, a couple of the things that you're going to notice right off the bat is there aren't any sensors, there aren't any obstacle avoidance sensors. So trust yourself when you're flying the drone. Also be careful when you're flying the drone and don't try and fly it too fast. It goes up and down really quick, which were a couple of my biggest gripes with the DJI Spark, that it takes forever to come down. So you do one of your rocket ascends and it takes 5 minutes to come down from 1,000 feet. It does get up really well. It has really good HD connection to the phone, which was really nice. I didn't have any lags, anything, and I'm in the middle of the city right now. So that was really nice, and I had a really good experience flying it for the first time. Up, down, right, left worked really well. The auto takeoff works really well. The auto land works really well. Now we're going to go up in the hills a little bit here today and see how the different follow me modes work and whatnot. All right, guys, we are at one of my favorite places to do anything drone related. This is Squaw Peak Overlook. Well, it's one of them, up Squaw Peak Road here in northern Utah. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. We are in June and it is still super green. We love to see that. Timpanogos, I think it's time to hike you here soon. If you guys haven't seen the video already, my fenders, my wide body McNeil fenders are on, also my snorkel. So be looking for those videos. I've got a lot of awesome content going on right now, and soon a lot more things will be changing here, and those will get painted and everything will get matched. But okay, we're gonna fly the drone here. This is gonna be the second time flying it because my camera was dead when I recorded the first video of flying the drone. So we're gonna fly it up here. We've got quite a bit of open land, also a really beautiful backdrop, and we're gonna try some of the follow me features. We're gonna try a bunch of the features and just see how it works, seeing that it doesn't have any sensors and it doesn't have kind of what a lot of the super high-end drones have, but it also has a really awesome camera. So we're gonna check it out. It's super nice for what it is. Okay, got my memory card in there. It is self-retaining, so that is nice. I feel a little bit more secure about that. And so I did put a high processing rate SD card in there, so hopefully it'll be able to handle the 4K. Wait till my lights pop on. Okay, here we go. Do need to take my case off to fly the drone. And then another thing I did note from the original time flying, the app does not automatically open. So for what that is worth to you, you will need to open it. One click takeoff. Maybe. It's right.
Okay guys, so I'm going to go into this right here. I'm going to go into follow mode, going to follow me, execute immediately, hide. Then I'm going to start recording. I don't know if you guys were able to see much of that, but she's flying right there, and we're going to test out the follow me feature on the drone.
Alright guys, here are my final thoughts on the Exodrone's Blackhawk. This thing is a really cool drone. The gimbal is so steady. It was actually kind of hard for me to fly. You kind of saw that at the beginning of the video, because I'm used to the whole drone canting because I'm only used to a 2-axis gimbal. So that was totally new to me. So this thing flies so steady that I was like, okay, hold on, is it actually moving, when I was doing fine movements back and forth. One of the big things I did notice is landing is going to take a little getting used to, because it does go up and down so fast compared to some of the other drones, even when it's not in sport mode, that when you're coming down, seeing as it doesn't have a ground radar, it doesn't know exactly how high it is, so it'll actually touch the ground and then take back up a little bit and then land again. So once you're getting lower to the ground, you just need to know to go a lot slower. I also found that if you put it in the landing sequence, it would do it a lot better than you just smashing it into the ground. So that is a little gripe, that it doesn't have any ground radar or sensors or anything, because it doesn't know exactly how high it is. Also, there's a lot going on with this drone that I'm not familiar with, so I'm just going to have to run it through its paces. As far as the follow me feature, it worked really great. It was actually, I didn't realize this drone had that feature, not just the follow me, but it actually uses GPS on your phone, and it'll follow your phone's GPS, which is a really cool thing for a relatively inexpensive drone. Coming in at like $600, this drone is really awesome. I don't necessarily know if I would suggest it to the guy who's brand new to drones, because if you're brand new to drones, you should probably get a drone that has at least forward-facing radar on it, so that your obstacle avoidance is a little bit better. Now, if you're a little bit more experienced with drones, but you don't want to spend $2,000 on the pro drone, then I think this is really good for you, because it comes with all that you need. It comes with a long flight time, comes with an awesome camera that can shoot slow-mo, that can shoot 4K, that can do a lot of awesome stuff. It'll follow you, the controller. It will do whatever you want, except for some of those things that some of the really expensive drones have, like the obstacle avoidance all over. So if you feel confident in your flying of the drone, I feel like this is a really good option for you. It looks really cool. It flies really well. It flies really fast. The camera is really steady. Again, this is now another Outdoorsman 1 video. We'll catch you on the next one. Be good, be dangerous, be ready, and we'll see you on the trail.